Maximura here, owner of Cobourg Tae Kwon Do, founder of Cobourg and co-founder of Power. And in today's video, we're going to go over some of the equipment we use when we train Taekwondo. In Taekwondo training, we use a variety of equipment to help keep our workout and training sessions fun and exciting by incorporating different bags, different hand targets, different weights. This is going to help us keep engaged with our workout, engaged with the class that we're training in, as well as it's going to help with our physical conditioning for cardiovascular strength, endurance, power, flexibility, mobility, reflexes, response, as well as impact training. So, in today's video, we're going to go over just a few of the different equipment that we utilize here at Cobourg Tae Kwon Do. So, starting with, you'll see at most Taekwondo schools, we have heavy bags. These are sensory freestanding bags. You also have the ones that are stationary that hang from the wall or from the ceiling. We like these ones so we can move the bags around and we can come up with all kinds of cool ideas and ways to use these bags for kicking, punching, and conditioning. We also utilize MMA style bags or hanging bags that we put on the ground for all of our different striking techniques that we do in Taekwondo. And yeah, Taekwondo is just not stand-up striking art. We also do have strikes on the bag, whether it be when we take people down or we get taken down, we do have techniques for that. We also utilize fish crash pads, so we do different takedowns, rolls, and throws, and some fun stuff for the kids. We also use these type of mats. Again, those provide extra padding for various takedowns, falls, rolls, etc. But we can also stack them up to do a bunch of different strength and plyometric exercises. And we also have a graphic over here if we need to ever demonstrate a technique online if the instructors ever find themselves. One of the most popular training tools that Taekwondo students and instructors utilize are towels or kicking towels. We can do various kicking combinations, kickboxing combinations, boxing combos, sparring combinations. This is a great tool for working speed, coordination, memory work, and also allow for both people, the person that does the striking and the person holding the mitt or the paddle, to interact with each other. So this is one of the most important pieces of equipment that we utilize. We also utilize for our children's classes, or basically our 3 to 5 year old little dragons. We have the small square hand targets that are very similar to what boxing coaches, kickboxing coaches use with the focus mitt. We also have these blockers here so that the students can practice various blocking techniques while an instructor or a partner is controlled striking, so they can work again their technique as well as reaction and speed time. A few other pieces of equipment that we utilize is, well, mainly for my competition team and for old school, is what they call a Maximura. It's a hard foam and wood combination with canvas where you can practice your various strength to condition the very striking part of your hand, forearm, elbow, and it helps you strengthen up your bones and tendons and ligaments for striking. We also utilize TRXs, so a lot of body weight suspension exercises, a lot of pushing exercises, a lot of pulling exercises, as well as legs. Also, not a lot of schools have that, but we have the kicking machine where you can actually put boards, whether it be real wooden boards or reflexible boards, in this machine, and we can practice various strikes. This is really loud when you're striking it. We also use Bowel Rolls. These are excellent for cardiovascular and strength endurance conditioning with the different exercises of that. And up here we also use hurdles. Hurdles are excellent for a lot of different plyometric drills as well as agility drills. And Taekwondo being a very explosive art and athletic art, we do a lot of athletic movement and training as well. Speaking of athletic training and conditioning, we also utilize light 3 and 5 pound dumbbells, whether we're practicing and conditioning our different punching techniques. We can also condition our traditional block for endurance and strength. So especially when the punching, it trains us to keep our hands up. It gets the muscle conditioned. It keeps the hands up instead of dropping them. We also utilize skipping for cardiovascular training as well as learning to discover what your natural rhythm is. It's really important as an athlete to understand what your natural rhythm is. We also utilize exercise fans and ripcords attached to our hands or our feet to work our power and explosiveness. So either attaching it to a bag or attaching it to a person, them holding you, and you can practice your power strength. We also use agility ladders. So you see a lot of soccer players and football players especially utilize agility ladders. That helps us work our various foot movement and coordinate our foot movement with kick and our foot movement with our hands. So a lot of coordination is featural here. We also have our body shield. So when we're practicing a lot of power kicking, whether it be single kick or even in combination, you have a big shield that's roughly your size, and the striker can hit that shield, and you can really practice your power and have a human reaction behind it instead of just hitting a heavy bag. Now, over here we have a bunch of other equipment. We have, I showed you over a few minutes ago, we have these nice square hand targets. So these are great for practicing a lot of self-defense strength. You can also kind of use them as a substitute for focus mitt if you don't have focus mitt. We also practice our breaking techniques on this as well. But like I said, we utilize a lot of our training. We utilize these focus mitts, just like boxers and kickboxers use Muay Thai. And you practice your boxing combinations, your kickboxing combinations, self-defense strength combinations and scenarios, as well as your kicking combinations and sparring. These are such a versatile tool that we utilize in a lot of our classes. A substitute for that are the much more bulkier, heavier Muay Thai pads that are much thicker, much more dense. If you're looking for a little more conditioning, something a little bit harder, we have Muay Thai pads. For breaking training, we have what we call reflexible boards. So instead of breaking wood and concrete all the time, these reflexible boards are really awesome for practicing accuracy and the power of your breaking technique, which directly impact your self-defense technique. And what I like about these, you can use them over and over without spending a lot of money, and you have to hit the center. If you hit slightly off either way, you're not going to break. And we have different colors for different belt levels. As you progress in belt level, you progress in colors, and it makes it a little bit harder. Taped up magazines, these are really good for developing the reflexes in your speed, and with very punching, grabbing, and striking technique where an instructor or a partner will hang on to the mitt or hang on to the magazine, and when you let go, you have to try and strike it before it hits the ground. We also sometimes use, instead of blockers, we use these pool noodles so that our students can practice various striking techniques, practice different block, parry techniques, covering up, head movement. You'll also see boxing and MMA trainers using these as well to get your fighters to move and learn to hurt when you hit them, which is kind of nice for people that are a little bit shy about being touched. Again, going back into conditioning, we also utilize pylons and poses like this, or like this. This is really good for our plyometric coordination and agility training, and we do a lot of conditioning with that to help our students become more athletic and fit, not just learning martial arts and self-defense. Also, in some of our classes, we're not necessarily running around the room working our cardio. Sometimes we'll have the students jump off on a treadmill, so like run a little bit faster, or work some HIIT cardio. This is an excellent training tool. Some schools have these, some don't. We're lucky to. And well, going back into well, I mentioned those strength conditioning earlier. We also train with kettlebells. We have kettlebells from 10 pounds all the way to 75 pounds, so pairs of each of those. So they are great again for working your strength, your power, and your endurance training. So we utilize this with some of our teens and adult programs, not so much the children program. Also, when we're training some of our self-defense, not all self-defense situations are going to be empty-handed. Sometimes they're hopefully not, but sometimes, you may find a situation where you need to train or come up against a knife or a gun. So we also have our rubber knives and our rubber gun to practice some of our real simplistic, basic self-defense techniques utilizing these. So this gives you a little bit more of a modern feel to it versus traditional training. The last piece of equipment that I want to discuss with you is what we utilize here at Cobourg Tae Kwon Do, is we also do train with traditional martial art methods. So this is the full staff. We also train with nunchuck, calisthenics, kama, the Vulcan, and tonfa. So real nice traditional martial art weapons. See, when you learn traditional martial art weapons, when you learn them all, you'll see that there's certain concepts and strategies and patterns that are universal in all of them. So whether you're going to be going up against a knife, a gun, a club, something along that line, like a modern weapon, then once you understand traditional weapons, you'll also see that the modern weapons are basically the same thing. So you're going to understand how to defend yourself against those weapons or use those weapons against other weapons. So that's just some of the equipment that we use in Taekwondo. Not all martial arts schools or not all martial art or Taekwondo schools utilize different pieces of equipment. We are lucky to have the variety of equipment that we have so we can provide a variety of training to our students. Some students, like I said, some schools have less, some have more. I like to have a variety, because a variety is the spice of life. So if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button, so subscribe to Maximura Field, as well as you can also subscribe to our other YouTube channel called Empowered, which is defense and empowerment training for women, where we try to help women and young girls build confidence and find their inner strength in defense and empowerment training. I do that with Ma'am Cheryl, who's one of our senior black belts here. Her and I have Empowered as a secondary company on top of Cobourg Tae Kwon Do. So definitely go check out that YouTube channel as well. I'll link to it in the description below. You can give us a thumbs up. Let me know if there's certain things that you want me to talk about on the channel, certain pieces of equipment, training methodology, tips, self-defense techniques, and so forth. So, until next time, train hard.